This news story was produced by Cogeco North Bay News. To watch the full newscast, tune into channels 12 or 700 live at 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Cogeco North Bay News, truly local television. I'm Greg Estabrooks. Well, former North Bay Nugget sports editor and local sportsman Ken Pagan finds himself in an international spotlight following an infamous incident during Tuesday night's wildcard baseball game in Toronto at the Dome. A beer can was thrown onto the field towards a Baltimore Orioles outfielder in the 7th inning of that game, and on Wednesday night, Toronto City Police tweeted a photo of a man who they alleged to have been responsible for said act. The man in the photo was ID'd as Pagan, and as social media exploded, many of his friends jumped to the defense of the award-winning journalist following the accusation. This video, or versions of it, and there are all kinds, has become a worldwide phenomenon. Someone threw a beer can onto the field of the Blue Jays game when they took on Baltimore in the wildcard game on Tuesday night. When police tweeted a picture of the suspect, a lot of eyes opened very wide in this community. Eventually, it was discovered the suspect was none other than Ken Pagan, the longtime Nugget sports editor and an athlete of a competitive nature in the city for many, many years. Pagan turned himself into the Toronto police and also hinted before he was told by a lawyer to stop talking that he was simply drinking from a cup, and he still has a lot of supporters in this community. Businessman Dani Carlson knows Kenny Pagan very well, having played competitive ball and competitive hockey with Pagan for years. He was amazed by the pandemonium last night and has his doubts that Pagan is guilty.
I couldn't believe it, and I actually didn't believe it, and I couldn't believe the magnitude of how big the story was.
And you've tried to reach out to Kenny, but you haven't had any success.
I've sent him some messages of support, and he hasn't responded. He's probably being bombarded right now, I can imagine.
And you've played ball with this guy a lot. You've hung around with him a lot. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's out of character.
Yeah, that's not something that he would do. I mean, not only ball, but hockey. Like I've spent lots of hours with Ken Pagan, and he's a good quality human being.
Well, it's. I mean, no one wants to speculate. Ken has said through his lawyer that he didn't do it, and I'm inclined to believe him at this point. Now, if that's just lawyer talk and he was involved, it's obviously an incredibly dangerous and stupid thing to do. But not in Ken's character, as far as I've known him. For a guy who's got like an encyclopedic knowledge of sport, yes, he's competitive. Yes, he likes to have a couple drinks after the game, but none of that would outweigh his respect for the game, which is why I see him being involved in this as not a real big possibility right now.
Longtime Nugget reporter and former workmate of Ken Pagan, Dave Dale graciously weighed in with his opinions on this difficult day for him.
I just couldn't believe he'd be in that situation. I couldn't believe he'd do it. So kind of shocked that he's, accused of that.
And I know you probably haven't been able to talk to him yet, but have you talked to some of your coworkers about this? Because, I mean, he was a very well-known figure in the community.
Well, yeah, he's got a lot of support in the community, in the newsroom. A lot of people like him. They know him as a principled guy with character. So they're rooting and hoping that well, they don't think he did it. A lot of people, some people do, but they're hoping that he can get through this and move on.
I go on what I know about a person, and this is a guy that helped run a senior baseball league, that coached rep baseball, that's a baseball fanatic, that's passionate about it. It's not for me to judge, and there are people that are there, and they're responsible for making a decision on it. I mean, there's some pretty telling pictures that are out there, and I mean, the other thing though is, this is a prime example of what I don't like about social marketing or social media, because, I mean, the guy's convicted before all the facts have come out.
If you are interested in watching Cogeco North Bay News, you can become a subscriber by calling 1-800-267-9000.